Mr. Beard has returned once again to bring foolishness to the timeline. I really have not talked about or thought about this guy for a very long time. It feels like the last time I even had him crossing my mind was when I talked about him insinuating that Turkey Tom was a bit of a fascist for being fatphobic, because fatphobia and fascism were linked, and because Turkey Tom had posted a picture of Ethan Klein looking big in a chair with no words attached to it. He basically was saying, oh yeah, that's fascism. So ridiculous. It was stupid. I was like, alright, whatever. It's not a big a deal. It's just this guy being an idiot. But he has returned, and it seems as though he's still in his idiot form. So let's get right into it. The worst thing Destiny ever did was stumble onto exposing JonTron, because now every loser breadtuber is trying to find secret Nazis hiding in plain sight. He quote tweeted, "I'm starting to think Mr. Beast might have similar political beliefs to Elon Musk because of how much he keeps praising him. I think he's way smarter than Elon and way better at getting himself positive PR through philanthropy. What do you all think?" Well, what I think is I don't care. I don't care what Mr. Beast has and political. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What Mr. Beast does has nothing to do with politics. Even if he's like the most alt-right of alt-right people, as long as he's not affecting somebody, I don't care how he thinks. Just because you praise somebody doesn't mean that you enjoy what they're doing or you agree with what they say. That's stupid. Alright? Just because I think Kyrie is probably the best handler of basketball ever doesn't mean that I agree with everything he's done. That's ridiculous. I can sit there and praise, anybody. Well, not anybody, but you know what I mean. But that doesn't mean that all of a sudden I agree with them. That's a really weird margin to just say, oh, well, you agree, so therefore you have the same beliefs. If you don't know what Nick's talking about here when he says stumble on to exposing JonTron, there, right before the whole flex tape meme, there was this big thing where Destiny and JonTron had a debate. JonTron went into it, came out looking really bad. It's not super important, but I just want to give some background. My feeling is that Mr. Beast realizes that actually it's not very profitable in the long term to be vocal about your right-wing beliefs, so he chooses to be publicly apolitical. Maybe politics doesn't play a big role in his life, and he doesn't feel like upsetting half his audience. I know why these guys always foam at the mouth, though. If Mr. Beast was exposed for having right-wing political beliefs, this would lead to a ton of content to be made in headlines. It's a weird witch hunt where we find out he believes in the same stuff half the country does. I think Nick's completely right here. Imagine the content farm that this would get turned into for political breadtubers if that Mr. Beast, the literal biggest YouTuber at this point, was found out to be a conservative. People would flood to their YouTube comment sections just saying all this types of stuff about him. People would, so the engagement is going to be crazy. All right. And you can say all types of stuff. Oh, well, I feel that he's this, and I feel he's harmful in this way. Talk about that for 10 minutes. Hundreds of thousands of views. Guaranteed. Just because Mr. Beast has such a big name, and when you talk about him like that, and you're criticizing him, no, Mr. Beast exposed, right? You can phrase it like that. Boom. And easy video. So yeah, this would be such a big story, quote unquote, for them to break. It's insane. And if it was going the other way, like I'm sure a ton of political YouTubers on the right would be like, oh my God, Mr. Beast exposed far left tactics, all this and that. It would be funny just to see, no matter what his political beliefs were revealed to be, which is why it's a good idea for him to just keep it on the down low, because again, he doesn't want to upset half his audience. It'd be dumb to do that. Why alienate half the people who are going to be watching your content? Oh yeah, for sure. By me saying I think Mr. Beast may possibly be a conservative, I'm definitely saying that I think he's a Nazi. Lol. There's a difference between average conservatives and literal Nazis, but I hope you enjoyed the engagement for sensationalization my point. That's not what I said. This is not what he said, I mean. For sensationalizing my point. I don't know why I flew through that like that. Now, this is kind of funny because Mr. Beard has a bit of a reputation for putting the term Nazi on somebody who doesn't deserve it. As you just saw, he called Trisha Paytas a Nazi, you know, the idiot girl who has pretty much just does stupid stuff online is a Nazi because she does damage to Jewish people. Now, I watched his actual video on the subject. Basically, he just calls her out for fetishizing Jewish people. She has some weird beliefs, but I don't think she's a Nazi. It's so weird. And then you get mad at people for calling you out, for being like, oh, this guy's done some stuff like this before, maybe he'll do it again. And he's just sitting there like, what? Why would you think that? That's so ridiculous. Come on, bro. Like, you have a track record of doing this already. What did you expect, genuinely? Did you expect people to just be like, oh, well, he did it once, it's not like he'll do it again? That's not how anybody thinks. That's not how you think. That's not how I think. That's not how literally nobody thinks like that. Nick DiOrio's response saying, it's kind of funny. His response was to ignore the other two tweets and just take issue with me using the term Nazi. Now, it's obvious why he did that is because Nick's right. It's a content form. Simple as that. If you can expose, quote unquote, this guy for having beliefs, then boom. All of a sudden, you have this big old high horse that you can sit on and be like, this guy disagrees with me politically. He is a bad person. I can sit here and most assuredly say that he's a bad person. And you can just make a video just saying that, right? And people will eat it up. It'll be this big thing for you, and it'll get you a lot of money. It will. I'm not going to say that it's going to be super futile. You're going to look like an idiot. No, you're going to make money. But it either doesn't matter to him or he just doesn't feel like putting it out because he doesn't want to alienate his audience. So why do it? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, his politics don't matter for him to make a Squid Game or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like, nobody cared about that. I didn't click on either of those videos thinking, I wonder how he feels about the war in Ukraine. Like, politics don't have to be integrated into everything. It's okay to just turn your brain off of, oh, what's going on here in the world. Just watch the videos where he plays hide and seek in a mall, okay? And if that's not content you're interested in, that's fine. It's mostly for, younger people, so it's okay if you're like in your 20s and you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. That's cool. But to insinuate that he's like, oh, he has these views because he agrees with this person, that's so weird. Now, obviously, Mr. Beard never had too much credibility with me. I think that his videos are made pretty well, I'm not going to knock him for that. But I do think that he's definitely been off base every time I've talked to him. I think I'm 2 for 2 here, all right? I don't know what this guy is with, like, how he interacts on Twitter. That just makes him seem so ridiculous. And it's like this a lot with BreadTubers. It's, pretty rampant. I mean, obviously Hassan, he's always in controversy. Nigga's not green. He'll always, I think he was just like in a saga of drama for like a good couple of months there. That's what it felt like from the way he described it. And then, of course, Mr. Beard cutting up. I feel like when you attack people as much as you do and you have that big of a following, people are just going to be mad, obviously, the fans of people, and so they come after you. Thankfully, I can just sit here and criticize people, and because a ton of people don't know about me, I don't normally get a ton of flack, which, I enjoy. There's no consequences for my actions. Well, I mean, there is consequences for my actions, obviously, but not on here, at least. No, ultimately, I don't think Mr. Bird's like a Mr. Beard is a bad person. I just think he really has some really dumb takes, and they're really pervasive for some reason. But I'm going to end off things here. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.